Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's look, we're going to be using the Clientele Palette, and this is a collaboration with BPerfect by the makeup artist Makeup with Jaw. And today we are going to be doing a black gray smoky eye. So the first shade we are going to use from the palette is called Cloudy, which is a gray. And I'm going to be using my Scott Barnes 61, which is a fan brush. Just placing that all over the lid, on the crease, and on the outer edge of the eye as well. So you want to make sure it's nice and blended. So next I'm going to be taking a Morphe blending brush, and I just want to make sure everything's nice and diffused and blended together so there's no harsh edges. Then after that, I'm going to be taking my Urban Decay eyeliner in Perversion, and I'm going to be placing it on the lid, and this is going to create a base for our next shade. So you want to place it all over the lid with a pretty good amount. And then you want to take like a pencil brush. This is from the Jeffree Star collection with Morphe. And you just want to make sure you blend it all over the lid so it's nice and even. Next I'm going to be taking the pigment Mainsey. This is also from BPerfect and the collaboration with Makeup with Jaw, and it's like a white silver pigment. It's a little bit chunky, but if you use a glitter glue, it should go on the eye pretty good. And I'm just packing it all over the lid as well as the outside of the eye, just so it gives it a little extra dimension and sparkle. And the brush is by P. Louise, which is just a flat brush. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to smoke the lower lash line. We're going to be using the color Just Black. You're going to place it all over the bottom lid, connecting it to the outside of the eye, as well as the other eye. And then I'm going to dip into Cloudy to do the inner corner of the lower lash line, so it doesn't look as harsh. The next shade I used was Glow Up, which is like a shimmery white eyeshadow, and I used this as a brow bone highlight as well as an inner corner highlight. And then I used the eyelashes by Batty B in the style Extra. I'm just curling my eyelashes before I put them on. And I used the mascara in the Lash Princess with the false lash effect. This mascara is really nice. It's really good and affordable. It works amazing. I think it's only like $4.99. And I think I got it at Ulta. So if you want a good mascara that's affordable, there you go. Just doing my lower lash line as well. Next, we're going to be prepping the skin, and I'm using the Unicorn Essence by Farsali. This is the first primer that I use just to give some moisture to my face. And I blend it with the Real Techniques brush. This is just one of their face brushes. Next, I'm going to be using the liquid powder from Farsali as well, and this I'm just going to be using it in the T-zone. And the reason for that is because I tend to get pretty oily in that area, and this works amazing to keep you matte and to also keep your foundation on your nose. And I'm just using another Real Techniques brush to just blend it out. And then for foundation, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear. And I'm going to be mixing the shades 435 and 445. And I'm also going to be placing the Skin Tune Blur primer from Farsali. I really like it because it tends to kind of blur some of those pores, as the title says. So it mixes really nice with foundation. And then I'm just using a beauty blender from e.l.f. to just blend all of the foundation onto my face. And then for concealer, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camel 16-Hour Wear in the shade Medium Sand. And I usually just like to place it all over the under eyes, the nose, the forehead, the chin, as well as on the nose. And the smile lines, it just gives me a little bit more coverage because that's where you tend to crease the most. Once everything is nice and blended, I'm going to go in with my I Heart Revolution powder in the shade Peach to set my under eyes with my Blendy Full. I usually just take that underneath the under eyes as well as the nose. It's a very nice, finely milled powder. Keeps you nice and matte. It's very affordable too. Next, I'm going to be taking my No Filter compact powder in the shade Light. And I'm going to be using this to set the rest of my face with my Blendy Full as well. I'm just going to use the other end of it. Once you have your face all set, I'm going to go ahead and bronze, and I'm going to be using the matte bronzing palette. This is from Essence as well. I'm going to start off with the lightest shade on the palette, and then I'm just going to be bronzing my entire face, just creating a base, giving my skin some color. This palette is also really nice. Very pigmented, very smooth, doesn't leave you patchy when you apply it. And I think I got it at Ulta as well. Next, I'm going to be using the lower two darker shades. This is more to contour, and the brush I'm using is from the Jaclyn Hill collection. The other thicker brush that I was using as well is from the Jaclyn Hill collection. I think it's like in the face set. It's the collaboration that she did with Morphe. And then once everything's nice and contoured, I'm going to move on to blush. I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula and Whaley palette. This was also a collaboration. Going to be using the shade Apricot to bronze my cheeks. Just going to place it on the apple of the cheek there. And then I'm going to be using the highlighters in this palette as well. One is called Whimsical, the other one's called Golden Hour, and I usually like to mix them. Just going to place that on the high points of the cheek. And I really like these bronzers and blushes and highlights because they have like a nice creamy texture, so when they're nice and warmed up in the skin, they kind of just melt and they look really nice and blended. So after you do your bronzer, your blush, your highlight, and your contour, I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray Mist, and I'm going to place it all over my face so everything's nice and melted together. I'm just going to be using my fan to dry it up. And then I'm also going to be using the Makeup Revolution Shimmer Glass setting spray. This has like some iridescent pink sparkles to it. Just gives you a nice little glisten to the skin. And then I'm going to be doing my lips. I'm going to be using the NYX lip liner in the shade Spicy. As well as the liquid lipstick from the Selena MAC collection. This is the second collaboration with MAC in the shade Siempre Selena. It's a beautiful true red. I think I really enjoyed the colors more in the second collection that Selena did with MAC than the first one. It just had a little bit more options. I felt they were more vibrant. Like this red is just beautiful. And even when you go out and you drink and you eat throughout the day, I mean, it stays on pretty good. It's not completely infallible, but it wears very nicely. And it doesn't tend to crack. So once the lips are done, here's the finished look. I hope you guys like it. Nice smoky black gray eye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment below, and turn on your notification bell for new and up and coming videos. I hope you enjoyed this and you liked it. Have a great day. Goodbye.